Crazy Penguin teaches you Linux. NickSnoob.com.
Welcome to NickSnoom. This is a follow-up to my previous video on KDE Activities. And in this video, I just wanted to cover some things that I left out in the previous video and also go over some things that could cause confusion if you're using Activities for the first time. So basically, by default, if you go to desktop and wallpaper, by default, your desktop's going to be using desktop view. I like to use folder view because folder view will it gives you a desktop folder and you can have folders underneath your desktop folder and link folders on your desktop. But by default, you'll be in desktop view. I'm not going to change that. But in desktop view, you'll see the same icons on your desktop for all activities, unless you pin an icon to a particular activity. And you do that just by right-clicking on an icon and going activities and saying link to activity. So since I'm in a folder view, that's not doing anything. But if you were in desktop view, that would make that icon go away and only show up under the activity that you select. So that's how it works with desktop view. With folder view, which is what I'm using right now, you can see if I go to desktop and wallpaper and I'm in folder view. If I go to location, it's set to desktop folder. If I go to my bill activity and right click and go desktop and wallpaper, right now it's not set, but by default it would be set to desktop folder. So it's using the exact same desktop folder as some of the other activity, which is going to cause problems. So if I were to come here and say, go to Office and I'm just going to drag, why aren't you letting me drag Office and go Office Draw? I'm just going to link that here. So if I go back to my default desktop, it's not there, but if I do anything that refreshes the desktop, like log out, log in, or just move an icon on my desktop, you can see it appear there. And that's because I'm using the same folder for both activities for my desktop. So if I were to go back to my bill and go to desktop and wallpaper and go to location and set it to a custom location, I'm just going to create a new folder called desktop underscore and then the name of the activity, which is bills, and say OK. And as soon as I apply that, you're going to see all those icons go away. And now if I were to go to Office and drag and drop Office Calc here, which I would probably want for my bills, and then go back to my default desktop, we can get rid of this Office Draw now, move to trash. And you can see if I move my icons around, they don't show up. Also, since I'm using a different desktop folder, if I were to come to my bills and just right click and say create new folder and call it test, and then create new folder. I'm going to call this bills 2 because I already had a bills folder on my other desktop. If we actually go look at our file system, we can do that from our other activity too. I'm going to go back to my default activity. If I come here and look at my file system, you can see we have desktop bills, and you can see we have that test folder, and we also have that bills folder there. I have a bills folder here, which is a link in the temp. That was a link that I did when creating the other video. I don't want those here on this desktop, so move both of those to trash. Okay, so now if we go back to bills, you can see those folders are still there. So now they're completely separate using completely separate folders. So I hope that clears up some confusion on activities. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe so you don't miss future content. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.